Howdy Fluffbutts, it's me, Faolan Wildpouring Cortez Colt. Here we are again with the yay or nay reviews. Please tell me we reached our 5 likes goal in the previous video. Yes! You all didn't disappoint me this time. I suppose it's time for another goal to be achieved. If you want to see a review on the next episode, Ghostbusters, to be made, like this video right now. And trust me guys, I want to review that episode. I have already written the script for it and I'm desperate to make that video a reality. If the Griffon the Brush-Off review gets 7 likes, I will immediately begin production of that episode's review. Right, now that everything's sorted, let's start this review. So when it comes down to describing what Friendship is Magic is all about, you think of the heroic Twilight Sparkle and her group of wonderful friends, a magical fantasy land where harmony blankets the world, and a sense of escapism for the audience to indulge themselves into. However, from time to time, there has got to be a handful of instances where those established aspects are put on edge to create events that try to twist stuff we know about our favorite equestrian planet. One of these examples is the 5th episode of Season 1, Griffon the Brush-Off, where we begin to learn more about the athletic Rainbow Dash and party addict Pinkie Pie as they become familiar with a brand new character of a different species, Gilda, who is a griffin with a short-fused attitude, despite attempting to cover it up with an outgoing nature. It is written by storyboard artist and freelance animation writer Cindy Morrow. The fact that she is a self-employed writer, a fan of the show, and having the ability to write for it too is impressive.
I'm a freelance writer.
Okay.
So I'm not employed by one company. I have to either look for freelance jobs or through word of mouth I have to be offered jobs.
Although most of her episodes have been regarded as good in concept but bad in execution, which brings us to the episode at hoof. Is Griffon the Brush-Off really just a lousy attempt at spreading a message about bullying, or is it a thoughtful story leading up to Rainbow's redemption? Because, let's be honest guys, she was the absolute worst character in the group throughout the first 4 episodes.
And how did you know about Nightmare Moon, huh? Yes! That means the ticket is mine!
No, God!
So, go ahead and grab your bicycle and 1,000 balloons and let's float up into Griffon the Brush-Off. People often bash on this episode because of the first half apparently being the only likable portion of it all, while the second half is generally despised with its focus on constantly showing us how one-dimensional the character Gilda is. I have to firmly disagree with this argument. The inclusion of Gilda makes this story the more engrossing, even though she's a tapestry screaming banality. Besides from the wicked Nightmare Moon from the Friendship is Magic 2-parter, we haven't had a single character who is somewhat unredeemable or just an intimidation. And you know what? Gilda perfectly fits this criterion. I believe it sets up a good plot point for the story to branch off of for making Equestria a more thought-provoking world. It's a lot of fun to witness what it would be like for those to witness this kind of tyranny happening and how they would react to it. Griffon the Brush-Off has always spoken to me as somewhat relatable. The concept of the episode brings me back to how I was treated as a victim to bullies and learning how to appropriately stand up to them, which is why the episode's ending is possibly the peak of the story.
When you decide not to be lame anymore, give me a call. Not cool.
Griffon the Brush-Off starts off with Pinkie and Twilight mingling together in a park, when Pinkie makes conversation about some kind of aerial maneuvers that Rainbow has supposedly performed.
And then Rainbow Dash swooped down, swoosh, and right before she hit the ground, shoom, she pulled out. Rah!
In spite of Pinkie's enthusiastic fangirl reactions drawn out to a comical degree, this opening makes the whole episode feel firmly out of place. Given what we know in hindsight, there is only one circumstance where Rainbow actually performed some kind of skillful act, which sounds like a recreation of what Pinkie describes in the episode Sonic Rain Boom.
Hook lighting action overload. She was like a stunned superstar, flying higher and higher, and then Rainbow Dash swooped down, swoosh, and right before she hit the ground, shoom, she pulled out. Rah!
This would have made accurate sense with the idea that Gilda only came back to hang out with Rainbow Dash because she won that competition, therefore introducing Gilda only wanting to be friends with her again to feed off of her popularity. Now that would have been 20% cooler if that episode was aired before this one.
Whoa, that pony is broke.
Pinkie then spots Rainbow gliding overhead and decides to gallop after her. The ending of the opening scene completes itself in classical hilarious fashion, as Pinkie tries to alert Rainbow from crashing into an oncoming mountain.
I'm in the middle of something. But I said not now.
I feel I've got to.
With the way Rainbow continues to dismiss Pinkie's concerns serves up for a funny conclusion. Another instance where Rainbow's arrogance ends up in her getting hurt makes me giggle.
I was gonna tell you to look out for that mountain.
What a tease.
Gas pedal, gas pedal.
The episode begins presumably the next day, where Pinkie Pie asks around Ponyville for the whereabouts of Rainbow Dash. Before Rainbow eventually flies away, I thought it was fairly creative how she would use pieces of cloud as earbuds. Also, the multiple aerial and long shots of Ponyville and several other locations in the episode helps create a better visual experience for the viewer.
Gorgeous!
After that, we get this absolutely fun sequence of multiple instances where Rainbow tries to hide from Pinkie Pie in places that seem a bit too painfully obvious for her to find.
That was close. Hi! Hi again! I need a favor, Rainbow Dash.
The music gets more intense in each location before it boils to the point of absurdity at the end. Wait, where have I seen something like this before? Oh my god, yes! The fact that P.P. Le Pew can be somewhat akin to Pinkie Pie's character makes this scene one of the most hysterical moments in the first season. Rainbow, out of Dash juice, soon gives up and goes along with what Pinkie has in mind for her. Oh god, if it's another party, I am going to break down. Oh, wait. It's not. Phew. The setup for this prank seemed a bit time-consuming for how long the prank actually ended up lasting. It was mostly thanks to Pinkie behaving like a perfectionist in where to place the cloud.
Over to the right. No, a little left. Oh, wait, back to the right. A little leftish while staying rightly. Maybe a few inches to the south. And now a couple centimeters north. One more smidge meter to the... Pinkie Pie!
You don't know the system!
This bugged me a little, but it was resolved when all was said and done as Spike fell for the prank, his glottis suddenly closing, and Pinkie immediately checking on him if he was alright. It got even better with Spike's overabundance of scrolls flooding Princess Celestia's room, reminding the audience that the all-powerful Alicorn is still an important role in the series.
You know, Pinkie Pie, you're not as annoying as I thought.
What? Where did that random insult come from, Rainbow? A simple expression like this one was relatively bizarre, as we all understand that she's supposed to be the element of loyalty. So far, Rainbow has only displayed one major feat of loyalty that gave her the spotlight, which defined her speciality. More on that later.
You're right, my fine fellow.
Pinkie and Rainbow then devote themselves to spend the day pranking their friends. I found each of their pranks on Twilight, Applejack, and Rarity snappily stylized to what their characteristics are most suitable to. Rarity with the flowers laced with sneezing powder, Twilight with the switch of ordinary ink for invisible ink, and AJ with the shock of seeing her apple orchard looking like Easter eggs from watercolor paint. Huh? What? I thought she harvested that orchard in the last episode. AJ was right in Applebuck season.
I don't need no help from no pony.
Then Pinkie and Rainbow begin to pursue Fluttershy for their next prank with the classic squirty, rubbery turtley until Pinkie abruptly stops her.
No. We can't prank Fluttershy. I mean, she's so sensitive. It'll hurt her feelings, even our most harmless prank.
Right, I sense that you're snickering at the ridiculousness of Pinkie's warning of Fluttershy not taking their water prank lightly, but this was the moment I properly fell in love with Pinkie Pie. This protective big sister role she puts on towards Fluttershy was so heartwarming, which is actually pretty ironic knowing later that Fluttershy is older than Pinkie Pie?
Your Auntie Pinkie Pie's got it all taken care of. I'm a year older than you.
Like, what? Still, this moment wasn't at all let down, since Rainbow refused to prank Fluttershy too.
Yeah, you're right.
Which was respectable to show us that even Rainbow has her limits. But I suppose she can openly tease her friends in public with no negative repercussions.
You are dead meat! I want to apologize.
We jump into the next day with an exact transition that should have been an Applebuck season to signify an accurate passage of time. Kudos to you, Cindy, for making sure this was included. As Pinkie approaches Rainbow's home, we get quite a fast introduction to the Griffon character, Gilda.
We got a lot of pranking tips. Ooh. Hey, what's up?
Alright, hate her all you want, but I admire how her introduction was handled. Both Gilda and Rainbow have that same rock and roll feel to their themes, but Gilda's is slower and dragged out ominously. I also liked that when Gilda landed on the ground, Pinkie's glasses instantly fell off, just like how a witless bully would crave that sensation of punching off a nerd's glasses. Almost as if the episode was shouting at us that she's not to be trusted.
Don't trust this girl if you ever meet her.
And right so, because I feel like I have to address the reason on why this specific character is mostly disliked. Gilda feels so forced. Her run-of-the-mill bad girl behavior, along with her repeated usage of the word lame,
Shut
is nothing new and doesn't feel like she actually belongs in Equestria.
Don't belong here.
Prior to Rainbow and Gilda leaving Pinkie all by herself, I was interested by the tiny chant the pair of them sang together.
Junior speedsters are our lives, skybound swords and daring dives. Junior speedsters, it's our quest to someday be the very best.
It's nearly identical to where if you have a friend in real life who normally doesn't care what anybody does, but except for you, and doesn't mind showing off or doing things you like with you. I'm looking at you, Connor. I know you're watching.
Seriously, man?
Oh, come on. At least you're getting another shout out.
Be grateful.
Fine. Back to the video.
As we venture along with Rainbow and Gilda, they reminisce on old times together, and unfortunately, I wasn't too convinced by this quite feigned expression.
Just like old times.
A short flashback or some sort of memory would have helped to benefit this part in the episode better for a more emotional tie-up by the end.
Hey there! Huh? It's later!
You know what? I'm not even surprised anymore by what Pinkie Pie can do to defy physics and break the fourth wall.
Improbable alert!
Every time Rainbow and Gilda insist on flying away from Pinkie, there is a clear distinction between the two characters that I appreciate. While the two girls may be two conceited minds that bond well, Rainbow is more aware of Pinkie being around, and Gilda deliberately wants nothing to do with her.
Dash doesn't need to hang with a dweeb like you now that I'm around.
It drives my emotions up the wall to root for Rainbow to notice what Gilda's doing. It doesn't help the fact that Gilda goes all out on Pinkie at the last minute, despite us knowing that she would turn out to be a tyrant from her first appearance.
You're darking up the sky, stinky pie. So make like a bee. Buzz off!
Let me tell you something, Gilda. The creativity of your insults can't change my stance on you that you're now nothing but a stain on the bully cliche. Next, we cut to Pinkie visiting Twilight in her home and telling her everything that Gilda has done to her, and this scene annoyed me for Twilight's reckless diversion of Pinkie's feelings.
You know what I think, Pinkie Pie? Well, I think you're jealous.
What?
This is getting out of hand.
Twilight's character growth fails me so much in this moment, because you would have expected her to take Pinkie's concerns seriously and actually keep an eye out for her later on.
But just because Rainbow Dash has another friend doesn't make Gilda a grump. I mean, perhaps it's you, Pinkie, who needs to improve her attitude.
Oh, listen to that! She's Griffon Pinkie the Brush-Off! That's the title of the episode! We, the viewers, know that Pinkie's telling the truth, and to hear that someone like Twilight is blatantly trying to turn the episode around only for the sake of the plot is just bad character interaction.
Boo!
you!
Then we have, I believe, the most disputable section in the episode. While the Griffin manages to get away with everything she does without any pony battering an eye earned a few eye rolls from me, I found Pinkie's moments with her strenuous brain thinking deserving.
I did misjudge her. She's not only a meanie meat pants, she's also a thief.
We all know that Pinkie Pie has been the nonchalant type of protagonist, and to see her finally having a brainstorm for how she should truly perceive Gilda was good. Although, with her heartlessness occurring right before Pinkie's eyes without speaking up about it leaves her contemplations kind of dull.
She might give it back. It's just a joke.
I feel reassured that no kid wants to see regurgitation on TV, Pinkie. Until this sequence wrapped itself up with Gilda's infuriation being unleashed upon Fluttershy.
Please excuse me.
I'm walking here!
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just trying to... I'm sorry. Why don't you just watch where you're going, doofus?
In a character sense, this ending was ambivalent for Gilda and Pinkie Pie. First, Gilda seals her own fate as the unpleasant griffin that she is, which only made me want to pull out her wing feathers. This made me feel disgusted.
Fuckers, I'm gonna make them pay.
Second, Pinkie initiates best friend protection mode again and swears revenge on Gilda for how she made Fluttershy cry. It was so sweet to hear how Pinkie would stick up for her later.
This calls for extreme measures. Pinkie Pie style.
Oh god, no. Pinkie, please, don't start another.
Welcome!
Well, shit.
You got spunk.
Who's this Gilda I've heard nothing about?
I hear she's an old friend of Rainbow Dash, a griffin, so rare.
So basically, word got around town with Gilda being in Ponyville, but nothing came up about her yelling at Fluttershy. Something doesn't add up. And that's the point to come.
Ooh.
I love this entire scene at the Sugar Cube corner. As expected from Gilda, with her attempting to cover up her explosive attitude, I was just waiting on the edge of my seat for when she would break. The tension slowly bottling up during each prank that Gilda foolishly falls into is nail biting. Or should I say claw biting? Okay, that joke was a bit of a scratch. Fine, I'll stop.
I've got my eye on you.
And I got my eye on you.
Never let Pinkie's eyeballs bulge at you. That's a giant sign of danger.
Danger close.
The bit of camera work I marvel at the most in this segment is how in every shot for the pranks, it featured Pinkie and Rainbow. Pinkie takes up most of the frame, while Rainbow was always in the tiniest part, leading us to believe that Pinkie was responsible in setting up the pranks.
Cake time, every pony.
Hey, can I blow out the candles?
Why don't we let Gilda blow out the candle, Spike? She is the guest of honor, after all.
Exactly.
How about it, Twilight? You just saw that your slave got pushed away from the griffin that you believed was not a dick. And what do you do about it? Nothing. Wow.
So bogus.
When Gilda is put into the game of pin the tail on the pony, she's understandably suspicious that she's going to get pranked again, so she tries to outsmart Pinkie by walking away, only to get yeeted off her talons by slippery flooring and crashing into a cupboard. Now that cracked me up. This doesn't seem to gratify Gilda as she at last kicks off on the whole party being lame.
This is your idea of a good time? I've never met a lamer bunch of dweebs in all my life.
Then she tries to leave along with Rainbow Dash. That's when Rainbow throws Gilda the biggest curveball you could imagine.
You know, Gilda? I was the one who set up all those weak pranks at this party.
Oh yes! The good old bait and switch trick. Nice. Here's what I think happened that led up to this event. After witnessing Gilda roaring at Fluttershy, Pinkie went to get Rainbow to talk to her and make her spy on Gilda for how she could have been treating other residents around Ponyville. After seeing the same harsh treatment being inflicted, Rainbow and Pinkie throw together the party for one last chance at trying to make her friends with the town. But do you know what is mind-blowing? Rainbow Dash forcing Gilda to swallow the red pill.
So I guess I'm Queen Lamo.
Come on, Dash. You're joshing me.
The next 40 seconds are superb for giving Rainbow the spotlight of recognition. Her loyalty just bursts through the wall after she hears Gilda's true nature of how she feels towards everyone in the room and the location itself.
They weren't all meant for you specifically. It was just dumb luck that you set them all off.
No way. It was Pinkie Pie. She set up this party to trip me up, to make a fool of me.
Rainbow hands her the shutdown this episode, the characters, and we, the audience, wanted.
And you sure didn't need any help making a fool of yourself.
Yes!
You know, this is not how I thought my old friends would treat my new friends.
Yes!
If being cool is all you care about, maybe you should go find some new cool friends someplace else.
Wonderful. And how does Gilda respond?
Yeah? Well, you are such a flip-flop.
Nothing to say. But how dare you insult flip-flops, Gilda? I personally think that they're always in fashion. Heck, I'm even wearing them right now while recording the script for this video.
Hey, Pinkie. Sorry I accused you of misjudging Gilda. Looks like I'm the one who misjudged you.
No, Twilight. Don't try and apologize to Pinkie for misjudging her. You said it right up front to her that...
You're jealous.
And that...
Needs to improve her attitude.
And only after having this confrontation with Gilda made you adjust your thoughts. The Ticketmaster's ending is haunting this one.
And I want to make you all happy and I can't. I just can't. Twilight Sugar, I didn't mean to put so much pressure on you.
The friendship lesson in this episode was adequate, nicely put through the circumstances our characters endured despite the strained repetitiveness of our stock ruffian. The epilogue of this episode was cool too, as Twilight manages to prank the glorious Princess Celestia with the same bottle of ink that she got pranked with from Pinkie and Rainbow at the beginning.
Oh, wrong ink.
Well, there's nothing much else to say. Let's get to the results. So, say this with me, Fluffbutts. Was it a yay or a nay? Well, Griffon the Brush-Off certainly isn't a perfect story, but overall I found it moderately entertaining, probably more than the last two episodes combined. Other than the wonky place in the first season this episode holds, the way the story took advantage of a common type of realistic conflict was great at times, even if it felt like it was being mocked to a typical level. But for me, I have to give this episode a defensible yay. Griffon the Brush-Off is the kind of episode you love to hate and hate to love simultaneously. The outlook that this episode took on the important subject of bullying is to be respected. In the face of Gilda's progressive troublesome conduct, which undoubtedly harmed the quality of this episode, it was held up by the delicate focus on Pinkie and Rainbow's characters. Their performances were of terrific standards, and for once, I actually enjoyed Rainbow being who she's meant to be. I also admired the visual upgrade and attention to several shots and transitions that helped enhance my viewing. There was still a heap of underwhelming story elements that didn't seem fulfilling for me to care much about. The ending twist was vaguely decent, and overall, this feels like the type of silly episode you'd expect to come out of My Little Pony. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, I just wish that this episode took advantage of its promise and pushed it higher to be something more memorable. However, I won't be able to say the same thing about the pile of trash that awaits me in the next episode.
Trixie truly is the most talented, most magical, most awesome unicorn in Ponyville.
No, in all of Equestria.
Dear God. Please, Fluffbutts, get this video to 7 likes and I'll murder Ghostbusters without a second thought. I award Griffon the Brush-Off a yay and a 6 out of 10. Oh wait, did you think the review was over? Nope, I've got something brand new to announce. I'm going to be introducing a third ranking system at the end of each new review in the future. Behold, the Season 1 tier list. Yep, I had to do it eventually. The tier list is split into 7 sectors that will be connected to the first 2 ranking systems so that there's no odd bias or unfairness. So how about we recap the episode's results and see where they fit into the tier list, shall we? Friendship is Magic Part 1 got a yay and an 8.5. Sadly, it isn't enough to be defined as an S rank, but it finds itself receiving a nicely fitting A rank on the tier list. Friendship is Magic Part 2, which got a golden yay and a 9. You can bet thousands of bits that the second part of the first story is getting the first S rank on the tier list. The Ticketmaster got an average and a 5. This episode won't belong in any high or low place on the tier list, but it will be sitting cozily in the C rank instead. Applebuck Season, which got an average and a 5. As much as I think that this episode is much better than the Ticketmaster, it can't get away from joining it in the C rank on the tier list. And now we come back to Griffon the Brush-Off, which got a yay and a 6. Surprise, surprise, it seems we will be moving up 1 rank on the tier list to give this episode the first B rank. With a decent oppression concept thriving in the story, Griffon the Brush-Off is fairly good. Just watch out for how intimidating Gilda is. Phew! Thank you so much for watching my 5th MLP review, Fluffbutts. I'm honestly so grateful for how much you guys enjoy this series, and I will continue to make more of these eventually. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more exciting content coming soon. Comment your thoughts down below on what you thought of Griffon the Brush-Off and whether you agree with me or not on my review. And I shall see you all very soon. Goodbye!